For decades, the open road has been a symbol of freedom, a canvas for the American spirit. And at the heart of that spirit, the American truck driver, a solitary figure battling the elements, the clock, and the ever-present demands of the road. But something has changed. The very machines designed to empower these titans of asphalt have become their greatest burden. We're talking about the modern truck, a marvel of engineering on paper, a nightmare in reality. And the real truth is, the industry, the regulators, and even some of the manufacturers, they don't want you to know why more and more seasoned truckers are turning their backs on the gleaming, high-tech rigs of today and desperately seeking out the rugged, no-nonsense workhorses of the 1990s. This isn't nostalgia. This is survival. This is a rebellion against a system designed to break the independent spirit of the American trucker. Let's cut through the marketing fluff and the glossy brochures. The promise of efficiency, of cleaner emissions, of advanced safety features. It all sounds great, doesn't it? But for the men and women whose livelihoods depend on their wheels turning, these promises have turned into a multi-billion-dollar nightmare. The culprit? The complex, fragile, and astronomically expensive emission systems mandated by the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA. We're talking about diesel particulate filters, DPF, diesel exhaust fluid, DEF systems, and selective catalytic reduction, SCR. These aren't just add-ons. They are the Achilles heel of every modern diesel engine. They are the reason a truck that cost $250,000 can be sidelined for days, sometimes weeks, by a single faulty sensor that costs less than $100. Think about that. A tiny, cheap component can bring a massive, revenue-generating machine to a grinding halt. And the cost? Industry reports, if you dig deep enough, show that repairing these emission systems can add anywhere from $1,800 to $2,600 to a single maintenance incident. That's not a one-time fix, that's a recurring nightmare, and that's just the repair bill. What about the lost revenue for every day that truck isn't hauling freight? For the independent owner-operator, that's not just a hit to the bottom line. That's the difference between feeding your family and losing your home. The old guard, the veterans of the road, they remember a different time. A time when a truck was a truck, not a rolling computer lab. They remember engines like the Cummins N14, the CAT 3406E, and the Detroit Diesel Series 60. These weren't just engines. They were legends. The Cummins N14, for instance, is still revered for its incredible longevity and the fact that it could be rebuilt multiple times, extending the life of a truck for decades. Talk to any old-timer, and they'll tell you stories of N14s running 1 million miles, 2 million miles, with nothing more than routine maintenance. Compare that to the modern Cummins X15, a powerful engine, yes, but one that's inextricably linked to the temperamental emission systems. The CAT 3406E, another icon, is still highly sought after, even though the newest versions are now over 25 years old. Why? Because they were built to work, built to last, and built to be understood by a mechanic with a wrench and a bit of common sense, not a laptop and proprietary diagnostic software. The Detroit Diesel Series 60, before it was choked by emissions regulations, was praised for its fuel efficiency and mechanical simplicity. These engines were the backbone of America, and they rarely let you down. But the modern truck, it's a labyrinth of electronics, hundreds of sensors, all communicating with a central computer, all designed to meet ever-tightening environmental standards. And while the intention might be noble, the execution has been catastrophic for the working trucker. A single sensor failure, a glitch in the software, a clogged DPF, any one of these can put a $200,000 truck into limp mode, drastically reducing its power and forcing it to the nearest, often overpriced dealership for repairs. This isn't just an inconvenience. It's a direct assault on the trucker's autonomy and financial stability. The industry, in its relentless pursuit of efficiency and environmental compliance, has inadvertently created a system that is actively working against the very people it claims to serve. It's a classic case of technological overreach, where complexity trumps reliability and the promise of progress leads to regression for the individual. Consider the plight of the independent owner-operator. These are the entrepreneurs of the highway, the backbone of the American supply chain. They invest their life savings, often taking on massive debt, to own their rig. They are not just drivers, they are small business owners. And for them, downtime is death. Every hour a truck sits idle in a repair shop is an hour of lost income, an hour closer to bankruptcy. The modern emissions systems, with their constant need for attention, their expensive components, and their specialized diagnostic tools, have turned these owner-operators into unwilling participants in a high-stakes game of Russian roulette. One bad sensor, one clogged filter, and their entire operation can come crashing down. This isn't just about a truck, it's about a way of life, a legacy, being systematically dismantled by forces beyond their control. But there's a glimmer of hope, a quiet revolution brewing on the fringes of the trucking world. It's the resurgence of the 1990s American truck. These aren't just old vehicles, they are symbols of defiance, a testament to a time when engineering prioritized durability and simplicity over fleeting environmental mandates. Why are truckers in increasing numbers actively seeking out these older models, paying premium prices for rigs that are decades old? The answer lies in their inherent mechanical design. These trucks were built before the era of complex electronic controls and emission systems. Their engines are largely mechanical, meaning they can be diagnosed and repaired with basic tools and a deep understanding of diesel mechanics, not a laptop and a subscription to proprietary software. A seasoned mechanic can often fix an issue on the side of the road, getting the truck back in action within hours, not days or weeks. Let's talk about the infamous Electronic Logging Device, or ELD, mandate. Implemented in 2017, this regulation was designed to track every minute of a trucker's day, ensuring compliance with hours of service rules. While proponents argued it improved safety, many independent truckers saw it as an invasive, Big Brother-esque intrusion into their lives, further eroding their autonomy. But there was a loophole, a lifeline for those who refused to be shackled by constant digital surveillance. Trucks with engines manufactured before the year 2000 were exempt. This single regulatory detail ignited a firestorm of demand for these older rigs. Suddenly, a 1999 Peterbilt with a mechanical Cat engine wasn't just a reliable workhorse, it was a ticket to freedom, a way to reclaim a semblance of control over one's schedule and livelihood. The market responded, and prices for these pre-ELD compliant trucks skyrocketed. It's a clear indicator that for many, the cost of modern technology and regulation far outweighed the perceived benefits. It became a choice between efficiency and independence, and for many, independence won. This isn't just about avoiding ELDs. It's about a fundamental shift in philosophy. The 1990s trucks represent a simpler time, a time when a trucker could truly be their own boss. They could diagnose a problem with a keen ear and a practiced eye, fix it with parts readily available at any truck stop, and be back on the road without needing a dealership appointment or a software update. The modern truck, by contrast, is a black box. Its complexity is a barrier, not an enabler. It forces truckers into a dependency on manufacturers and specialized service centers, eroding their self-sufficiency and increasing their operating costs. This dependency is a silent killer of small trucking businesses, a subtle form of control exerted by the very industry that should be supporting them. Let's delve deeper into the economics. The initial purchase price of a new truck is staggering, often exceeding $150,000 to $200,000. This massive investment is then compounded by the relentless depreciation of modern vehicles, especially those laden with complex, failure-prone emissions systems. When these systems inevitably fail, the repair costs are not just high, they are unpredictable. A single DPF regeneration can cost hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. A complete replacement of an SCR system can run into 5 figures. These are not minor expenses. They are business-ending events for many owner-operators. In contrast, a well-maintained 1990s truck, while requiring its own set of repairs, offers a predictable cost structure. Parts are generally cheaper, mechanics are more familiar with the simpler systems, and the absence of emissions-related failures means fewer unexpected, catastrophic bills. The upfront cost of a vintage rig, even a fully restored one, is often a fraction of a new truck, and its depreciation curve is far more favorable. sometimes even appreciating in value due to demand. This economic reality is driving a quiet exodus. Truckers who once prided themselves on having the latest and greatest are now actively seeking out older models, not as a temporary fix, but as a long-term strategy for survival. They are investing in glider kits, essentially new chassis with remanufactured pre-emissions engines, to bypass the regulatory burden and reclaim the reliability of yesteryear. This isn't just a trend, it's a statement. It's a vote of no confidence in the direction the industry has taken, a desperate plea for practicality over perceived progress. The irony is palpable. In the pursuit of a cleaner, more efficient future, the industry has inadvertently pushed its most vital asset, the independent trucker, back to the past. The common enemies here are clear. First, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, whose well-intentioned but ultimately flawed regulations have created a technological monster that devours truckers' profits and time. Second, the large trucking fleets, who can absorb the costs of modern trucks and their complex maintenance, often using their scale to push independent operators out of the market. They benefit from the high barriers to entry that modern technology creates. Third, the manufacturers themselves, who, while innovating, have perhaps lost sight of the practical needs of the working man and woman behind the wheel, prioritizing compliance and profit margins over rugged dependability. And finally, the insidious concept of planned obsolescence, where trucks are designed with a limited lifespan, forcing constant upgrades and perpetuating a cycle of debt and dependency. This isn't just a story about trucks. It's a microcosm of a larger struggle. It's about the individual fighting against an overwhelming system, about the pursuit of freedom in an increasingly regulated world. It's about the wisdom of simplicity triumphing over the tyranny of complexity. The 1990s American truck, with its raw power, its mechanical integrity, and its freedom from digital chains, stands as a beacon of hope. It's a reminder that sometimes the path forward lies in looking back, in reclaiming the values of durability, self-reliance, and genuine craftsmanship. For the modern trucker, facing unprecedented challenges, these old rigs aren't just vehicles. They are a declaration of independence, a final stand against a system that seems determined to crush their spirit. And that, my friends, is the real truth.